Hi and welcome to the Video Zone. I'm Charles Band and today is February 21st, 2013. I guess most of you by now have seen the movie. If you haven't, you should see the movie before you watch us and watch this Video Zone. And I hope you enjoyed it. We had so much fun making this film. You know, something different is always what appeals most to me as a filmmaker. And even though I know I've made a lot of puppet and doll movies, you know, the Avenging Black, pissed off doll, you know, killing racist, it's awesome. And then of course working with such a great cast, and what an honor to work with Karen Black and Stacy Keach. So what can you do? We make these films, we hope you dig them. We're getting a lot of attention already. As I record this, the movie's almost finished. Obviously it's not out yet. But a lot of people want to know about Ooga Booga. Some people are calling it the Little Django, so I have no idea if that's, if that's good or bad. But we're on such a roll this year at Full Moon. Ooga Booga sort of blasts the year off. But I'm about to start directing a movie called Unlucky Charms, and I don't want to say too much about it, but it's got all the good stuff, including 4 3.5-foot tall, awesome mythical characters, creatures. After that, we have movies like The Evil Wrestling Federation, The Grim Rapper, and others that I don't want to reveal just yet. Also really excited about our Grindhouse films. We started a site called grindhouseflix.com. You can go on your iPhone, your iPad, your Droid, and find the app. But basically, it's a streaming movie site. It's kind of like a weird-ass baby Netflix that focuses on Grindhouse films. We've been licensing these films, unearthing these films, searching high and low for just weird movies that few of you, I'm sure, have seen. I used to distribute them some in the old days when I had a label called Wizard Video. So it's a combination of some of my material, because I did make some Grindhouse movies in the 70s, and a lot of other films that are out there that we have found that every month we're releasing 4, 5, 6 films for grindhouseflix.com. You can subscribe to it for $4.99 a month, it's pretty cheap. Or you can just zoom in there and go, you know, I like this one movie, and therefore I'm just going to pluck out one movie and download it and watch it for $1.99. We're also going to premiere some films on this site. So Ooga Booga, by the time you see this, you probably know, or some will know, that it premiered on March 12th. It's probably some weeks ago now by the time you see this Video Zone. And you know, we just want to make this a really cool place for people to go and see very original, unique content. So keep tuned to grindhouseflix.com for something definitely different. And Full Moon's just going to have a crazy year. We've got so much going on here, not just movies, but crazy merchandise. As you may have heard by now, we have not only an Ooga Booga 1:1 scale replica, which will be, if nothing else, frickin' unique. We have resin statues, you know, of all those characters in the movie, of the badass dolls, of Hambo. So either you're going to love this stuff or think we've gone mad, but I'm enjoying making these Video Zones again. We haven't done it since the early 90s. And you guys stay tuned and hope all will be awesome.
My name is Sierra Carter, and I play the character Donna. We are making a great feature film right now. I'm getting ready to do my next shot. I'm killing Officer White. It was interesting. Working alongside a puppet was really fun. I'd never done it before, so it was definitely a great experience. And Ugo had some moves of his own, so I really had a fun time working with him. If I was in Donna's situation and my boyfriend turned into a puppet, I mean, honestly, I would do exactly what Donna did. You know, I wouldn't believe it. The little thing came right in front of me talking about, ooh, I'm Devin. It's like, what the heck? I didn't even get to like, Ooga Booga's really doing all the work. You know, I'm just pointing the gun. So I didn't get to like shoot anything anymore. So Ooga Booga got the real good job, but happy to be here. Well, what appeals to me about acting is that you're able to tap into so many different personalities and characters, and you're able to pull it out from different areas and apply it to one particular thing. So it's like a rush, you know, for me to do that. So it's what I love. It's what I love to do. Horror is pretty much all I watch, you know, so I know like every horror film out there. So being in a horror film meant so much to me. It was unbelievable when I found out I had this role.
I can still plow your field, honey.
You guys laugh?
My name is Chance Reardon, and I played the role of Hambo in Ooga Booga, and also in Zombies vs. Strippers. At first, I thought it was a prequel, and he explained to me that even though I died, that Hambo was eternal. Doing Hambo's voice is a lot of fun. It's a challenge and really, really tough on the throat. It was a great character that obviously had been jaded from being a kiddie show host for like 40 years or however long he's been doing it. I would have loved to have done something like that when I was their age. So it's fun to see how some of the kids really get into it, and then the other ones, it's like, probably their parents, said, you're going to do this, and that's kind of how they got into it. I couldn't believe it in Zombie vs. Strippers when we were, pelting them with eggs. I kept going to Charlie, real eggs? We're going to use real eggs? And really? We're going to hit the children? And he goes, yeah, they're getting paid.
My name is Gregory Niebel, and I played Officer White in Ooga Booga. Once you get into the role of this man and see that, that's his world, that's his belief, and, then it just sort of came out. That character is in there to a certain degree. I think everybody has places which normally they don't want to go or they don't want to visit, and I think you have to sort of explore those and bring them out and see, okay, how can I make this person or this character human, and believable, and still remain true to who I am. I actually was in Trancers 2 because I was friends with Tim Thomerson, who plays, Jack Death. I had a small 5 lines or under real estate person. That was what was fun about auditioning for Ooga Booga. It was a great sort of a segue, 25, 30 years later.
Okay, my name is Maddox, and I'm playing Skis in the movie. I pictured myself as a bro, like a San Diego bro, just wearing, scummy clothes. I imagined I would drive a Lyft pickup and drink lots of Monster. This was kind of a new thing for me. I've never done especially like a bad guy in a movie. It was kind of interesting. At one point, I started doing a line kind of like Napoleon Dynamite, and I got called out for it. And I was like, I didn't think anyone would notice, but people noticed. It was something like, I told you not to do that. Way too much Napoleon Dynamite. I still have no idea if maybe I was a huge piece of shit in the movie. I might be the worst part of this movie. I could see that there was like a marked difference in talent between people who've acted before and me. I had fun. I had a lot of fun with Tom and Patrick. Tom, especially one of the days when we were shooting, had to eat this big bag of chips. And we just kept doing take after take after take, and he kept putting these salty chips in his mouth, and he was dehydrated and felt bloated and couldn't eat anymore, and he felt sick. And as the day went on, he looked more and more the character he was, which was great. The first full moon movie I saw was Castle Freak. I rented it a long time ago with my friends, and within the opening scene, I was in love with it. I thought it was awesome. What I thought the movie was going to be when it first started out was was just some guy who lived in a castle who had like this freak, like this mutant who lived downstairs, and you just go downstairs and beat him every day. And like go upstairs and make a sandwich, watch some TV, read the paper, and then go downstairs and beat him, like his daily beatings. And I could watch a sitcom about like a character like that. It was still a cool movie, but that's what I thought it was. But anyway, that's what started me down the path of Full Moon. And then went from there. I mean, if I came face to face with this puppet, I guess I'd just kick it, like a dog. Not that I would kick a dog, but if I were to, and the dog was a puppet, I would kick the puppet. It seems like something you'd be able to kill pretty easily. But I think that's what's intriguing about it, is because you see it on the cover, you see these movies about, like Puppet Master, and you think, well, how can these puppets kill anybody? And then you see the movie, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, it's something I never really thought about.
I'm playing Mrs. Allardyce. I'm Karen Black, and I really like this character very, very much. She's just so provincial. She's so small-minded. I don't think she's ever been out of the city in which she lived. She's And she's funny that way and kind of vaguely endearing and yet horrible that way, because she's a bigot, you know. She thinks black people are bad and white people are good and police officers are all correct. And it's just fun playing someone who's so small-minded. It's really fun. It's funny, you know. She kind of falls in love in a way with Officer White. Why? Because he's on a television show and her life is her TV. And just everything she knows about everything she got on TV. Can you imagine that kind of a mind? I love all her bad qualities. She's from somewhere around Chicago. I'm from a suburb of Chicago. And it worked very well for me with her provincial, small-minded, small-town mind to be from around that area, so that she has that certain accent. And even though I've heard it probably most of my life, it's hard to do, and that was my challenge, and I didn't really fully accomplish it. What in the hell you want with him? See, that's wrong. You know why? Because I said him. That's Southern. What the hell do you want to see him for? That's right. I would say that all great artists are interested in what it's like to be the other person. When they look out of those eyes, what does it look like to them? What is that like? And then when you act, you know, you do all that unless you're too self-conscious to do it. I think self-conscious acting is quite hideous. I hate it. I was first offered this movie, and I try to stay away from horror movies. Really, I like to do slice of life. By hook or by crook, they got me to read it. And I thought it was such a good spoof. And it was like me making fun of me, kind of, which I like that idea. It just seemed like a great, fun idea, and I just thought it sounded great, and I wanted to do it.
Right. I've only had 2 jobs in my life. My first job was at KFC, and I was a cook. My second job was a programmer for a telemarketing company. I worked there for like 9.5 years. But while I had that job, I wrote a website that got really popular, got millions of hits overnight because one of my pieces went viral, and I got a book deal. I wrote a book. It was a New York Times bestseller, and then I wrote another book. And then I met you guys at Comic-Con, and you're like, hey, you want to be in this movie? And I'm like, sure. That's pretty much it. That's how I landed here. My website started when I had a lot of friends who were vegetarian and had a lot of strong opinions about things that were annoying. And so my website started as spite. It was spiteful, a way to spite my close friends and family. And for years, I was relatively anonymous online. My coworkers didn't know about it. My family didn't know about it. And then suddenly, I get millions and millions of views, and now everybody knows about it. So it's taken away some of my freedom to vent about some of that stuff, but I still find ways. The thing I love about my website is that a lot of times I will be writing about the person who's reading my site. Everybody who reads it thinks it's not about them. No, it's about you. Like, I'm writing about you. Like, 90% of the time, the people who are reading it, they're the people I'm writing about. And they all nod in agreement, like, oh, I know somebody like this. No, it's you. How do I find new material? I find new material. Well, first of all, if I come up with an idea to write about, a topic to write about, the first thing I do is I Google that topic to see what else has been said about it. Because I don't want to say the same thing everyone else is saying, especially with topical events like news stories. If you Google anything about gun violence, for example, it's a really rich topic. So unless it's been said before, if it has been said before, I'm not going to say it. I'll just avoid that topic. Like, for example, I wrote an article a long time ago called "Christopher Reeve is an Asshole," and I Googled that phrase to see what else people were saying about Christopher Reeve, and almost nobody had anything negative to say about the guy. The only people who did anything about it were South Park, and I watched that South Park episode, and it was unsatisfying to me how they handled it. They didn't really go deep enough. I called him an asshole because I felt like his motives might have been selfish for why he created the Paralysis Foundation. He didn't care about paralyzed people until he became paralyzed. So I wrote that in an article, and I published it, and it was huge, especially after he died. After Christopher Reeve died, if you Googled Christopher Reeve, the first link that came up was his Paralysis Foundation. The second link that came up was mine. And I was getting so much hate mail. I was getting millions and millions of people coming to my website just dumping on me. And I even got contacted by the lawyer for the Christopher Reeve Foundation. And and the lawyer said, we want you to take this website down. And I said, no, because it's spawning an important debate in this country. I went around forums everywhere on the internet, people were discussing this article, and they were saying, well, okay, what are the merits of caring about people? Should we only care when celebrities bring focus to a cause, or should we pay attention to things that are hurting people right now? I explained that to him, and he actually agreed. He said, look, I disagree with your methods, but I agree that this is an important conversation to have, and I voluntarily offered to put up a warning page on that page alone. It's the only page on my website. If you click to it from Google or Yahoo, and you were searching for Christopher Reeve, it just puts up a warning and says, look, if you were looking for the Christopher Reeve Paralysis Foundation, you came to the wrong place. Otherwise, continue. And he was fine with that. The website, if you're interested, and I don't know why you would be, is the best page in the universe. If you Google it, it's the first thing that comes up. And there's the best show in the universe, the best comic in the universe. I have the best blank in the universe. So pretty much if you see that online, it's probably me.
Okay, I am Bob Ramos. I play the character OOGABOOGA. In the film OOGABOOGA, I play the voice, actually. I'm not really a black doll possessed by the soul of a brother who was shot down by the man. So, as you can clearly see. Otherwise, you guys would be wasting a lot of the budget on makeup effects and blackface. But yes, OOGABOOGA is a doll that has been possessed with the soul of a man who is caught by the injustice of racist police officers. So, in other words, it's about it's a story of passion, of love, and masturbating puppets. So, it's going to be great. My inspiration for Ooga's voice and just the whole character in general was from Screamin' Jay Hawkins, the amazing singer. Just this, the essence alone. Plus, it was the bone in the nose, which he did in some of his performances. That's so scary. But yeah, just the whole essence of that. I felt that he really captured a whole, because the man was a genius. So. The challenges with developing this voice was doing it in front of my black friend. It's plural. I don't just have one. I don't hate, I collaborate. So, racial harmony is a song that we can all sing.
Bob, you're a natural.
This is not the first voice job I've done for Full Moon. I've provided the voice for the Grindhouse campaign, which you can buy now on grindhousevideo.com. But I've provided the very soothing, sexy, raspy voice for those amazing commercials you see, and it's been a lot of fun. It helped me develop a voice I was supposed to have, but my testicles only dropped about halfway. So the line that I heard that is very popular with my Grindhouse voice is the untrustworthy fat man, which it should go over with anybody, I believe. I mean, I'm very trustworthy. You can go to YouTube and search Naughty Bobby Ramos. You'll be able to find many individual clips, as well as me doing about 100, maybe 50 to 100 voices all at once, which is a very difficult process because you have to line up your deepest to your highest, or vice versa. And I mean, it's not as easy as it sounds or looks, but you can go to YouTube, search Naughty Bobby Ramos, and if you have any requests, send them in. I'll work on them. I'll eventually get to them. So. My Gwen Stefani voice is actually a very difficult one because I do it the way she sort of sing talks, because in some of her songs she's sort of, you talk like this, and then I go up and do this. Well, another voice I like to do is Gary Busey, who's starred in a couple of features for Full Moon. If you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe you should go to the website. No, but simple, you just buck out the teeth, and then you start talking really fucking insane. Like, let's see here, Ooga Booga stands for overly, I don't know. I can't do too much of his aneurysms, but you could simply just buck out the teeth like you're gonna bite someone's head off or open a bottle for him. It's really insane.